I'm glad that you could join me here today. We're going to be making lemon hummus. Lemon hummus is one of my favorite foods. I make it pretty much every week. Now hummus, as you might know, is a very common food throughout the Mediterranean. It's just mashed garbanzo beans. But it is very versatile, it's very healthy, it can be used for many things and flavored in many ways, so it's become very popular in this country as well. It can be used as a dip for vegetables or pita chips. It can be used on sandwiches with more vegetables. And it can even be used as the fill, like cream cheese, such as the filling in appetizer roll-ups. And we'll be having some of those later. I've made those ahead of time.
Great.
But if it's as readily available as I say, I mean, you can get it at Fry's, you can get it at delis, you can even get it down at the Mobile in little one-serving containers with crackers. Why would I make my own? Well, there are a couple of reasons. I started because I wanted to avoid the salt and the preservatives that are frequently found in commercial hummus. It lets me make it whenever I want to. It lets me, the ingredients are things I can keep on hand all the time. But the bottom line is cost and olive oil. When I priced it at Fry's this weekend, hummus cost $3 for a little 7-ounce container. This batch makes 2 cups and it costs much less than $3. But also traditional hummus virtually always includes olive oil. And since I'm pursuing a very low-fat plant-based diet, I don't want that extra olive oil in my diet. Contrary to popular opinion, olive oil is not a health food. It has the same cancer-causing properties as other dietary fats. So by making my own, I control that, I can flavor it the way I want, I can add more garlic, I can add red pepper, and so for me this is the best solution.
Great.
Now in order to make hummus, I really prefer my food processor. It can be done in a blender, you need a little bit more liquid. I'm using beans that I've prepared myself. You can also use a can that you just get at the grocery store, either the 15-ounce or the 19-ounce can. And I make my own beans for pretty much the same reason that I make my own hummus. I wanted to avoid the salt and the additives. And then I realized how much money it was saving me and that I wasn't paying someone to drive cans of water all over the country. I mean, when I thought about it, that's what you do when you buy canned beans. You're paying someone to put the water in for you, and now I have less to recycle. Now you may notice that I'm dipping these out very carefully. That's because we're going to use the hummus, at the liquid at the end to thin the hummus after we've added the lemon juice and other ingredients. So I'll just get a few more of these out. Hummus is a very forgiving recipe. You don't have to be exact, you don't have to be perfect. I think we've got enough in there for our purposes. The next ingredient, since this is lemon hummus, is lemon. Now, this is a store lemon, so you're going to need the whole thing. If it were an Arizona lemon, you'd only need half, because our Arizona lemons are huge. And when you're juicing any citrus, you're going to get a little more juice out of it if you roll it around on the counter first. It's going to break up some of those cell walls. This one's pretty small inside compared to the one I did yesterday. You have any questions?
When you're preparing your garbanzo beans for your hummus, you start out with the dried beans?
Yes, I buy them in bulk.
And do you soak them and cook them, or do you just soak them?
I do both. They are fully cooked garbanzo beans. As soon as I put this in here, I'll talk about that. Again, we want about 1/4 cup. I buy my garbanzo beans in bulk, and it takes me less than 10 minutes for the whole process. At night, I weigh out a pound and flip through, pick out any bad beans, and then I put them to soak overnight in water to cover. Pretty generously because they're going to swell. I drain them in the morning, literally just in the container. I run water in and pour it out. Then I put them in my 4-quart crock pot, cover them with about 1 inch of water, and turn it on. If I'm going to be working in the kitchen where I won't forget them, I turn it on high for the first hour. Otherwise, I turn it on low, and then I go about my business. And when I'm done, they're done. I come back at the end of the day, I divide it among 4 containers like this, and I put them in the freezer. That's it.
Great.
Costs much less than 4 cans of garbanzo beans. which were 79 cents this week. So we have the hummus, we have the garlic. I'm just a little flustered. We have the garbanzo beans, we have the lemon juice because it's lemon hummus. Our next ingredient is almond butter. Now this is not a traditional ingredient. I'm using almond butter because I bought it to use on sandwiches with vegetables and I don't like it straight. So when I started making my own hummus, I decided to try it. It works great. As I said, traditional hummus contains olive oil. This is where our fat is going to come from. Traditional hummus is going to have tahini in it. These are ground sesame seeds. These are ground almond seeds. Like natural peanut butter, these are both going to settle in the refrigerator. And they should be refrigerated. The oil is going to rise to the top, but even before that happens, there's going to be some separation. And it's going to get thicker on the bottom, which is why I use this to stir it. I can cut up when it's necessary. 2 tablespoons, but I never measure. I just kind of blob some in there. As I said, hummus is very forgiving. I use jarred garlic because in Arizona, mine dries up before I can use the whole thing. You could use 3 cloves peeled. This is the bottom of the jar. It's getting a little more pungent. A little parsley and we're done. I use flat leaf Italian. You can use parsley. If you wanted to vary this, you could use black beans with lime juice and cilantro, make a Caribbean version. You could use cilantro anyway, because it's very, very adaptable. You could use kidney beans or pinto beans with Mexican seasonings. This is going to be loud and it's going to take several minutes. I pulse it first to blend them, and then I'm going to run it. And our parsley got stuck on our pin. Would you like some water?
Give me a second.
Oh. Now I'll just turn it off while I explain. This is where I add the extra liquid. We want it to reach a point where it's going to flow smoothly and spread nicely. So I'm going to turn it back on and add the liquid as it blends. Each time I add some, you're going to immediately see the difference. I would usually let it run a little bit longer, but since we're remaking this video to meet the YouTube limit, we're going to stop now. That's it. We're done. This is our hummus. It is lemon hummus seasoned with parsley and garlic. And as I said, it can be used for many things. I have some samples here. These are the roll-ups that I told you about. These are whole wheat roll-ups, tortillas. Carrots, and these are whole wheat pita breads. I love these little ones that I get at Trader Joe's. So I'm going to take my scoop and give you some hummus and invite you to have some fun. There is a handout for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like to turn the video off?